Hi folks, Bush Hippie. We're back at headquarters. It's not as crappy out today, but we're still doing inside stuff. And today, I have my assistant helping me. Say hi.
Hi.
Who the hell are you?
I'm a child.
You're a child?
I'm a child.
What are you doing, child?
Peeling potatoes.
Yeah. I didn't think we needed to show peeling, but child, I guess, thought people needed to see the proper way to peel a potato. So, show them how it's done, child.
The proper way to peel a potato. If you don't have a knife handy, make sure that you, eyes.
Kid.exe has crashed.
I'm very tired.
Anyway, we're going to show you how to can some spuds today. Once we're done peeling these, that's how much we got so far. We'll come back and show you how to prep your pressure cooker and get them jarred up and ready to go. See you in a bit. Well,
just put the potato in a half.
So what are you doing?
I'm chopping potatoes.
How are you going to chop them?
That knife is too big, that's how. Baby knife.
Okay. Make sure you grab the dullest knife you can find too, folks.
Obviously.
You need a jar.
For what?
Put the potato in. There. It takes about 1.5 per jar. And yeah, sure.
Sharp.
Anyway, get another one. You soak it after you get the skins off. You want to dump them in a pot of cold water. It keeps them from turning all brown and gross from oxidization. Just use the big knife, you millie.
But that worked.
Anyway, shoot for chunks of potato around 3/4 to an inch. You don't got to get really scientific about it. Really, you're just breaking them down so that they go into the jars easy, and when they come out of the jars, in a perfect world, you want them ready to go into a pot of stew or soup or whatever.
Your hand is very large. Like abnormally large.
Really? We're going to talk about my hand now, huh? Remember, keep your fingers out from under the sharp part of the blade. Alright. We'll be back in a minute. I think we're going to switch places before child amputates a finger. We traded places.
Potato.
Because the whole idea behind this is it's not supposed to take a whole day to prep 10 pints of potatoes. Yeah. So, this one back here, other than needing a lid and a ring, it's ready to go in the pressure cooker.
Here's the potatoes.
The only thing that's been done to it... Hey, are you listening?
Yeah.
The only thing that's been done to it that hasn't been done to these two yet is I ladled some boiling water into it. During this entire process, from start to finish, you want to keep the potatoes in water as much as you possibly can. When oxygen reacts with the juice in a potato, all the starches and stuff, it turns brown and icky, and honestly, it gets pretty disgusting looking pretty fast. So, the name of the game here is keep up a pace where you're filling jars, but don't fill too many at once and get too far ahead of yourself, because you do want to be able to get the boiling water on them so that they're out of the air before they start going all brown and yucky. Okay, cut. Alrighty. So that's a full enough jar. You want to obviously cram as many in there as you can, but you need to leave room for your water as well. Rule of thumb when you're canning is you try and leave at least a ½ inch of head space. Okay? Easy way to make sure you don't screw up. Just stop filling your jar when you get to that ridge. Okay, we're just going to come over here. People who haven't been doing this as long as I have and still have feeling in their hands might want to use a funnel just so you're not putting boiling hot water on your own hand. And you can just set it off to the side there, and now you ain't got to worry about it.
I'm the cameraman. Perseverance.
Perseverance, yeah, sure, okay. I swear, folks, she's not mentally handicapped. She's just weird.
I am very mentally handicapped.
All right, so we're going to cut away. I'm going to finish getting these jars prepped, and then we'll show you how to prep your lids. All right, so in this day and age, with everybody and their brother buying canning stuff, it's a pain in the ass, ain't it, kid? So we've had to start ordering our lids off Amazon, and you gotta watch them. See that? See that little ding in the lid? That lid won't seal. So it's very important when you're getting your lids ready to go that you inspect the edges of these Amazon lids. Meanwhile, Katie's doing something with the leftover potato water. What are you doing, child?
Well, it's already hot, so I figure if I put it in the pot with the rings in order to boil them, it will come to a boil quicker since the water's already hot.
Well, why are we cooking the rings?
Because we need to sterilize them because it will be easier for them to stick to the jar.
And it's got nothing to do with the little rubber deal on the bottom?
It sterilizes it.
It also softens up the rubber seal on the bottom of the jar. So, you don't got to get crazy about it. I mean, really, all that needs to happen there is you just throw them in the pot and let them come to a boil. And once they start boiling, hell, usually 1-2 minutes. Just catch them before they boil dry. Otherwise, you'll start melting the rubber seal and your kitchen will stink like a drag strip. We're boiling. All right. Those are ready to go. Here. Here.
You want to see my background?
Take the camera, child.
Okay, there you go. Daddy, look at my background.
Yeah, babe. Neat. Where is... Oh, dang it. Where'd that blasted thing go now?
What, your
Yes.
lid lifter?
There it is.
Catch the bottle.
Caught the bottle. Here. Get a handful of rings.
I'm cameraing.
You got it in freehand. You're going to show them the easy way to do this shit. Stuff. Demonetized.
Get demonetized, bro.
Okay, that one's junk. So, here's a good one. With your rings, hey,
Junk.
up here. With your rings, try to make sure that they're not all rusty and nasty on the inside.
That one is junk. As you can see, it is all rusty.
Yeah, over here. This is where the cool stuff happens. This is a neat little tool. It's basically a plastic stick with a magnet on the bottom of it. Easiest way to get your lids and rings on, just do that. Boom. Ready to go. Alright.
I do's it a different way.
Other than
Can I show you how I do's it?
I guess. There. Lid.
Alright.
Don't cross thread it this time.
I never cross-thread them.
That's a freaking lie.
It's not.
Okay, yeah, you literally just had me set the lid on and then put the ring on. Alright, we're going to finish getting these ready. And then we'll go over some basic pressure cooker prep and basic pressure cooker safety. Alright. Okay, we're not inside anymore. We're out on the porch where I got our big 2-burner canning stove set up.
Ow.
This doesn't heat the house up as much and it gives us a little more room to work. So we got 9 pints of potatoes hanging out here in our pressure cooker kettle. Now what's going to happen in here is the water's going to boil, obviously. Well, not exactly. The water's going to start to boil, and then it's going to start building up pressure, which is going to change the specific gravity, and black magic's going to happen, and it's going to get hotter than boiling water typically does. After we're done with this process, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a little button poking up in the center of that jar lid. Once everything's said and done, that little button will pop down. That's how we'll know when our jar is sealed. Okay, just a quick and ugly version, basics of pressure cooker safety, whatever the hell this thing is. This is your gasket. This is your lid. When we get to that point, you'll see me put a rattler on top that regulates the pressure inside the kettle. I only live a little bit above sea level, so I only can at about 10 pounds of pressure. Really important when you get your pressure cooker ready to go that you make sure that this nipple on top is clear and not plugged. If that gets plugged up, your cooker can't vent properly. When that happens, this is your safety valve. That should open. If that one doesn't, this one should blow off completely. Other than that, turn your lid over. Your gasket goes in the ridge on the inside. Make sure it's laying in there properly. And then you just snap it onto the top of your pressure cooker. And just like that, we're ready to can. Hey Katie, bring me a match.
Fire!
Okay, we're going to let that be for a little while and wait for steam to start venting out of that center hole right there in the middle. Okay, so this is the part where we kind of want to start paying attention. See that? That's the nipple I was talking about. What we're waiting for is we're waiting for a jet of steam to start coming out of that and be steady. Okay, you see how we got a jet of steam starting to come out of there, but it's kind of hit and miss. What's going on right now is we're forcing all the air out of the kettle. And we need to do that and just let her sit here and do this for 10 minutes or so. That makes sure that when we actually settle in and start doing our actual pressure canning, that we're getting the maximum temperature. That's what's going to make everything nice and safe. Basically, if you can see stuff coming out, it's steam. If you can't see anything, it's air. You want to let it just let it be until it's nothing but steam. Okay, we got a nice steady jet of steam. Now, we take this guy, this is our regulator. We snap him on there and wait for him to start wiggling, jiggling. Actually, that one might spin. To tell you the truth, I can't remember exactly what it does. I haven't used this canner in a while. Okay, so apparently this one does kind of a rocky, backy, forthy, slightly spinny thing. That means we're at pressure and starting to work. So, now, we're just going to turn our heat down a smidge, because we want it to where our regulator's regulating, but we're not overheating so bad that we build up too much pressure and everything locks up on us. Because you lose pressure, you lose temperature. And it will reach a point where your regulator will stop regulating because it's just too hot. Looks like we're in the sweet spot right there. So, for these potatoes, you're going to process them at 10 pounds if you're at sea level. Follow the instructions on your pressure canner. And your processing time is 35 minutes for pints, which is what we're doing here, and 40 minutes for quarts. So I'll see you in a little over half an hour. Okay, the timer went off. Kill the fire. It'll gradually bleed off the pressure. I'm going to let it sit there and hang for an hour or so. Then I can just pull the jars out, let them cool overnight. Be careful, they're hot. And yeah, that's it. Well, that's it. I'm now sitting here editing the video together while the kettle cools off. Now, the whole reason I did all this is because when I went into town today, I saw at our local supermarket that 10-pound sacks of russet potatoes were on sale, basically buy one get one. Now, that's 20 pounds of potatoes. That's more than the kiddo and I could ever eat before they all went bad. But it's too good a deal to pass up. And it's just a matter of coming home, dragging out some jars, giving them a quick wash, and away we go. Half an hour later, boom. Spuds that can sit in the pantry all winter. It's good for like, I think up to 2 years, give or take. I'd Google that just to play it safe. And they're ready to rock and roll for pretty much anything. You can drain the water off and pan fry them. You can leave the water on, dump them into a stew, or just cook them off in a pot, mash them up, whatever you want to do with them. They're just potatoes with the skins already off and already chunked up. Totally worth the hour or so it took to get them canned up, and now they're not taking any effort now. The kettle's done, sitting out on the porch cooling off. When I'm done editing this video together, I'm gonna bring it in and put them away. Easy peasy, folks. If you go over on, if you check out my Patreon, you'll find my podcast and my blogs where I get a little bit more in depth into this kind of stuff. You know, recommendations for canning equipment, stuff like that. This week's podcast, honestly, I don't even remember what the heck this week's podcast was about, but I remember uploading it. That was a bit of an ordeal in and of itself. And if you don't have the money to subscribe to my Patreon, you can still get the text of my podcasts. I script everything before I record it, so the week after I upload the podcast for my Patreon subscribers, I upload the script for free. I know there's an actual word for that, but oh, transcript, there we go. Been a long day, gotta kind of bear with me. My kid, I think she like leaches brain cells or something. Anyway, so yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you learned something. And don't be afraid to ask questions in the comments. If I catch the question, I'll totally answer it. Have a good one.